Hello dear students, welcome you all for transmission and distribution class. In the previous class we have started with the underground cables and we have seen how a construction of an underground cable will be there. So next we'll see what is the requirement of insulating materials for the cables. As we seen inside the cable there will be 3 cores, 4 cores depending upon the requirement. So protect those things we require a insulation to that conductors in the cable. So what are the different types of insulating materials are used in the underground cable, and what are the requirement first we should know. Means when say we need to one material as used as a insulation for the underground cables, we should know what is the requirement for that one. So the different properties or required for the insulating materials, and the first one is high insulation resistance to avoid the leakage current. We know obviously insulation thing is used to mainly to protect from the leakage current, so it should have a high insulation resistance. High dielectric strength to avoid the electrical breakdown of the cable. High dielectric strength should be there, so any pressure or electric stress it should not get breakdown. That's what we require, a high dielectric strength. High mechanical strength to withstand the mechanical handling of the cable. Anyhow, handling of cable is very difficult because we need to lay it for a long distances and it is under the ground, so very carefully we have to handle. So mechanical stress is more or while installing or in during the operation also. So it should have a high mechanical strength to withstand the any mechanical injuries. Then non-hygroscopic, it should not absorb moisture from the air or soil. The moisture tends to decrease the insulation resistance and hastens the breakdown of the cable. In case of insulating material is hygroscopic, it must be enclosed with a waterproof covering like lead sheath. Means hygroscopic means it is absorbing the water from the air or from the soil. So once it is hygroscopic, it is going to absorb it. So once it is absorbing means it is going to lose its insulation property. So insulation breakdown is takes place. That's what, if it is a hygroscopic in nature, we need to use a waterproof covering for that one. Okay. Non-inflammable. Yeah, it is very important. Inflammable means what? Suddenly any fire takes place, it should not get fire. It should not catch fire easily. So it should, and even though fire catches also, it should not get burned. That's why it is non-inflammable. And low cost, so as to make the underground system with a viable proposition. So obviously the low cost is required because anyhow the underground cable itself is a costlier one compared to the overhead lines. So the insulating materials cost is also increases. Means obviously it is a burden on the users. So to avoid these things, we should have a low cost for the this kind of materials, and unaffected by acids and alkalines to avoid the chemical reactions. Yeah, we know anyhow it is inside the ground. Obviously many chemical reactions may take place with respect to soil is coming in contact with the insulation. So it should not get affected by acids or alkalis to avoid the chemical reactions. Once it is given chance to chemical reactions, the breakdown of the insulation takes place. Many other things, chemical properties, it may destroy the property of a conductor or the insulation may break down, spark, internal short may take place. So all those things it should not affect by any acids and alkalines, because environmental changes will be there for weather changes due to the seasonal changes. So soil also going to change its property during the different seasons. So that time many alkalis or acids are available in the soil itself. Then it may come in contact with these cables. The chances of chemical reactions are going to take place. So all these requirement for the good insulating materials. So what are the different types of materials are used as an insulator? First one is rubber. Rubber is a commonly used one. We know it is available easily and absorbs moisture, and maximum safe temperature is low, soft and liable due to any damages. Even though because of rough handling, it can be soft and liable to can be done. And pure rubber cannot be used as the insulating material because pure rubber has got some difficulty. So we need to put some other chemicals to make the improvement in its insulation property. So next one is vulcanized rubber. Means vulcanized rubber is called as the process is of vulcanization is done to the rubber. Means it is prepared by mixing of rubber with a mineral matter such as zinc oxide, red lead, and 3 to 5% of sulfur. The compound is so formed is rolled into thin sheets and cut into strips. The rubber compound is then applied to the conductor and heated to temperature about 150 degrees centigrade. The whole process is called as vulcanization. So vulcanized rubber gives the more strength over the rubbers. Then impregnated papers, most commonly used, varnished cambric, and polyvinyl chloride, PVC usually we are calling it as. So these are the different types of materials are used in the insulating material for the cable. Okay, so PVC is polyvinyl chloride. It is having high insulation resistance, good electric strength, and mechanical toughness over a wide range of temperatures. It is insert to oxygen and almost inert to many alkalis and acids. Therefore, this type of insulation is preferred for vulcanized rubber in extreme environmental conditions such as in cement factory or chemical factory. As the mechanical properties of PVC are not so good as those of rubber, therefore PVC insulated cables are generally used for low and medium domestic lights and power installations. So this is regarding the different materials. Now we will see the classification of cable. How the cables are classified? Classified in according to one is type of insulating material used in the manufacture and the voltage for which they are manufactured. So this is the two different types. One is what type of insulating material is used and the voltage range it is using. The usually it is voltage measured things are taken. According to this is classified as, first one is low tension cable up to 100 volt, we are calling it as low tension cable or it is called as LT cables. Second one is high tension cable. High tension cables is up to 11 kV or 11,000 volts, this is called as HT cables. Next is super tension cables up to 33 kV, from 22 kV to 33 kV range is called as super tension cables, that is called as ST cables. Then extra high tension cables from 33 kV to 66 kV, we are calling it as a EHT cables, that is extra high tension. Then extra super voltage cables beyond 132 kV, we are calling it as extra super voltage cables. Cable may have one or more than one core depending upon the type of the service which is intended. It may be single core, 2 core, 3 core, 4 core, etc. For a 3-phase service, either 3 single core cables or 3 core cable can be used depending upon the operating voltage and load demand. See, you can see in this figure, it shows a constructional details of a single core cable of a low tension cable. The cable has a ordinary construction because the stresses developed in the cable for low voltages up to 6600 volt are generally small. It consists of one circular core of tinned stranded copper, you can see in the blue color, stranded copper conductor or aluminium, insulated by layers of the impregnated paper. The insulation is surrounded by a lead sheath which prevents the entry of the moisture into the inner parts. In order to protect the lead sheath from the corrosion, an overall serving of compound is fibrous material is provided. Single core cables are not usually armored with the order to avoid the excessive sheath losses, because usually armoring is not used here because it is used for very low tension or very low stress purposes. The principal advantage of single core cable are simple construction and availability of the larger copper section. This is one of the important thing, that is the single core cable. Okay, so remaining things we will see in the next class. If you find any difficulties, you can ask me. Thank you.